Welcome to episode 301 of Flights, Football, and Anything Else. I'm Dave, and these are our three guests tonight, this evening. And we've got Jamie Dawes from Three Bridges Distillery and Tap Room. We've got Cody Smith from Oracle Brewing, and we've got Mike Houlihan from Hopcraft Supply Store here on Bay Road in Saginaw. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, this was Mike. You are so glad you weren't here. Oh my gosh. Technical difficulties, but we are up and running. I think if anybody gets in the chat and can, let me know how it looks and if it's being received. Looks like it is. So it is 7:47. So not terrible. There's been a couple times where Mike and I have had technical difficulties and just on the audio, to Spotify, and we've been half hour, 45 minutes, late. So let me start off. Mike is not here, obviously, for those of you that didn't read or wondering what's going on. Mike is in Germany at Oktoberfest. He's in Nuremberg. Yeah, right. So shout out to Mike and Liz and Josh and Jamie and Grant and Shelly. Hope you're having a great time. And so I decided, since I was kind of starting to get into the business, working at the Maple Grill, and met Cody at Brewing the Zoo. I think that's when we had a chance to converse and whatnot. And I know I've seen Hopcraft, and were you guys at the winter, the Saginaw Winter Brew Festival? Yeah, I thought so. So, I recognize the two of you a little bit because my wife and I have been there the last couple of years. So in any event, I want to start off. Let's see what else. I got to go with my notes because I'm still a bit flustered from not being able to get this stuff to work. Thanks to these guys, they actually read what was wrong and logically went through the problem solving while I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But all right. So let's do the first beer before we get too much farther into it. Now, since it's still September and technically Oktoberfest, so in Germany, Oktoberfest is in September. Who knows? Maybe that's a German thing, because normally a lot of people that aren't in the know think that Oktoberfest is in October.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Maple Grill Oktoberfest. Aaron Onweller couldn't be here tonight, but we're gonna. Hey, that's a good sign.
Great sign.
Right. There you go.
Thank you.
And these guys were gracious enough, and Mike was gracious enough to be a host here at Hop Supply on Bay Road. Now, I first heard of this place through Larry and Lori from Cass River Brewing. When Mike and I started this podcast, I knew Len Shading from the Maple Grill. I've known the Shadings for a long, long time, 30 plus years. And he was having was it the Mid-Michigan Homebrewers competition? I think you've hosted it here, or you've hosted it at Oracle once.
Yeah, we've definitely hosted the judging, but never the actual comp. A couple of the awards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know those guys pretty good.
Yeah, good. And cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah. Aaron said this is one of his best.
It's really good,
if not the best.
Super good.
Yeah, flavorful, good notes. So going back to Hopcraft Supply. Yeah. So is it mostly home brewers, or
it's pretty much all home brewers?
Okay.
So we do a little bit with some of the commercial guys. Like I know Cody and Jamie have shopped here as well, because we're pretty small. They have the same suppliers that I do.
Yeah.
So if they're in a pinch for grains, or if we like combine orders or something, but yeah, it's mostly just people at home that want to brew their own beer and
Okay.
do it themselves.
Nice. I know I want to,
Sure.
but Mike and I have been dumping our time and our extra money into this right now, but we definitely want to. Like,
Yeah.
Larry made us a Flights Football and Anything Else. I'll show you the video later, but he actually put a football.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the
Yeah.
video?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
He showed it to you?
Yeah, where he dunked the football in there to technically it was brewed with a football.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then he had some other grains that, or was it the grains or the hops that gave it the grassy? He wanted some kind of a turf.
That would have been probably the hops.
The hops.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he may have put some grains in there to try to get some like leather kind of flavors to
that's
it.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the grains will do that.
And I didn't taste any leather. I didn't taste any grass.
You didn't taste the
actually
football.
a pretty good. It's actually a pretty good beer. And I know Larry or Lori are probably not watching right now, but I still have one more in the fridge. I'm
nice.
I'm cellaring it. See if yeah. In any event, but then Oracle Brewing. When did you guys establish?
Summer of 17.
Okay, summer 17.
Our 8th year.
All right, good stuff. And then when did Three Bridges in Midland?
Jeez, it's been 3 years, 2023.
Okay.
I don't remember now.
Okay.
A few years.
All right. All right. Excellent. And I haven't been there yet, but I want to get there. I know that's on the map. But and especially, you know, if I still do some sales and I'm driving around, that's going to be one of my stops for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Starting off entertainment. I asked you guys, we usually do what shows you've been watching. I'll start. And I got to go with, I don't know if you're familiar with it, Apple's Foundation. It's Isaac Asimov, based on his books.
Okay.
And sci-fi fantasy. And he, it's the 3rd season. And for our listeners and anybody else out there that's been paying attention, viewers and listeners, it's really good. I really enjoy it. But the season finale blew me away. Maybe not on the level of I Don't See Dead People.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah, the Sixth Sense. Not like that kind of like, holy, what the, but just absolute plot twists with a bunch of the characters and really good writing. I mean, even if you're not into, like Mike's not into Star Wars or any sci-fi kind of stuff like that, the story really takes over in this, and the characters, and you kind of like the spaceships and the sci-fi part of it, going from planet to planet, takes a back seat. So if you have Apple Plus, I really recommend it. And so I'll be anxiously awaiting the 4th season, because they said they're filming the 4th season and starting in 2026.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Foundation.
Foundation. Yeah. It's really good. So we'll just do round table. Just, what's your top show that you've been watching?
Right now I'm currently watching Alien Earth on Hulu.
All right.
Which has been really good, which I'm happy about. There's a ton of alien movies, and in my opinion, only 2 of them are actually like good.
Right.
The first 2. So this has been like a really nice refresh of the franchise.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, and they're doing that kind of retro futuristic type thing where like the spaceship and the computer still have like the green text on it, so it's not like super modern, so still
Sure.
feels like the alien from the 70s. So that's been really, really fun to watch. And it's also been pretty interesting because the alien movies have been kind of like, all right, there's this xenomorph alien that's terrorizing things, and and then like the B plot was like the big companies that are like behind it all,
trying to weaponize it.
Exactly. And it's kind of flipped in the show where it's like, okay, we're focusing more on the big companies that are trying to weaponize it or interested in it, and like the monster running around chasing things is kind of a smaller portion of it. It's still going on. Maybe like the alien goes crazy for a couple episodes, and
right.
But so it's been interesting to see like these companies who in the older shows have been, like you said, trying to weaponize it.
Right.
And now you're seeing like they're like, ooh,
Right.
this thing. Like, oh, maybe we can do something cool with it.
You know, somebody's got to be trying to do it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been
For
really
real. I mean, in
yeah,
real life.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun to watch, and I'm happy that Alien is cool again.
I just get it. I don't, a little unnerving having something pop out of my chest. You know what I mean? Or at
Yeah,
least
it's-
visualizing it.
It's a little spooky. And then next month I always do like a horror Halloween marathon where I
Okay.
do like 15
Yeah.
Halloween or horror movies. So if anyone in chat has any recommendations that's coming up, I'm looking for recommendations on Halloween or horror themed. Send them our way.
Well, right now it's looking like people gave up on me after about 15 minutes. We'll see what's going on with this, but in any event, Cody.
So I've been on Disney Plus. They did Star Wars in chronological order.
Uh-huh.
So a little over a year ago, I started watching everything from the beginning all the way through. But something that I had never watched was like Clone Wars or any of the animated
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Rebels. And Huli kind of turned me on to that. So we were going back and forth chatting
Right.
about those. But really cool to get all the backstory, see things lining up, especially with the new movies and shows they're coming out with.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed those, the series and stuff. Like, see, Mike, I got somebody to talk about with the sci-fi stuff. So all the backstory Star Wars stuff and Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
If you were upset with how Vader was in like the prequels, the Clone Wars like make up for it. Like it makes more sense when you watch the Clone Wars, his kind of downfall and his
Right.
who he was as a person instead of like an angsty like
Yeah.
kid
Right.
almost.
Like a little bit like he needs some like therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes into him a lot more, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
Totally
Cool.
changes your perception of the whole thing.
Right.
Cool.
Jamie?
So I don't usually watch TV or movies, but I've been reading a series that I read a while ago. If that's okay, can I switch to a book series that I've been reading?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's Old Man's War by John Scalzi.
Uh-huh.
And it's speaking of sci-fi and all that stuff, it is I've been really enjoying rereading it. I have a friend of mine was looking for recommendations, so I recommended it to him, and then I thought, man, it's been a while since I read that series, so I started reading it again. But it's the premise, without too much of a spoiler, is the Earth is in a universe where there's many other species that are not necessarily friendly to Earth, and mankind has figured out a way to defend itself.
Right.
And I probably can't spoiler too much more than that. But
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I heard it's becoming a series of some kind of
Okay.
movie or something. So
All right. Awesome.
yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I get into that stuff as well. So anyway, did you have anything else, or was that good?
That'll work.
All right. Quick music. I'll just go. Like, I got back into I was a postie again this week. Post Malone, F1 Trillion. So as soon as that, and I liked a lot of Post stuff, beforehand, but for whatever reason, that one spoke to me. But that's basically what I've been listening to this week when I've been trying to get some stuff done. And I should have gone and done. I'm back as a sub. I'm subbing in the school, so that's been keeping me busy. And just anytime you get your schedule changed a little bit. So I was used to not doing it, and now I'm back to doing it. So I didn't get a chance to go research any new music like I should have. Sorry, Mike. But just what are you listening to this week?
So I was at a music festival not too long ago. I'm into like punk and metal and stuff, and
Yeah.
My buddy that I was with was like, "Oh, cool, that guy's got a cool Tiger Army shirt on," and I was like, "I don't know who that is." He's like, "You don't know who Tiger Army is?" And as soon as he said that, I saw like 1,000 people with like Tiger Army patches and shirts, and
Sure.
apparently it passed me by. So I went and checked them out, and it's pretty cool. It's not like aggressive punk or anything like that. It's actually kind of like almost on like a folky side, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right term.
Yeah.
Kind of twangy. So that's been super enjoyable to listen to. So I've been going through their albums, trying to catch up on what I've apparently missed out on.
Okay. So Tiger what?
Army.
Tiger Army. All right.
tend to go in circles with stuff. In this last week or two, I've been on the back to the Wilco train.
Okay.
Oh.
Talk to me, because I'm not a music person per se.
So
Like-
Jeff Tweedy, I don't know.
General genre.
Americana maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Little folky.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
Kind of keeps you, and sometimes you got to do that. And maybe that's why like F1 Trillion kind of like, I keep going back to that, especially when I'm working on stuff, because it puts my brain in the right wave to be able to focus and get some stuff done.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wilco's my chill out and relax, just kind of do stuff around the brewery music.
Sure.
If I need to get shit done, it's like Run the Jewels, a little bit harder rap, that sort of stuff.
Gotcha. All right. Jamie.
So we've probably all heard Ozzy died, and
Yep.
I was revisiting all of his stuff. I mean, I had a lot of his tapes when I was a kid. I wore them out. I say tapes, right?
Right.
So like I was revisiting some of that stuff I hadn't listened to in years, and been doing some of that.
Okay,
And,
cool.
Also, I had something come across one of my feeds on something about 5150 from Van Halen, the first Sammy Hagar album. It was like 40 years old recently.
Yeah.
So revisiting all the Sammy Hagar, Van Halen stuff.
Yeah. See, Mike's paying attention now. You said Ozzy and 5150, and yeah. All right. So music. All right, just real quick. Anybody a wrestler, watch wrestling or pay attention to it at all?
Back in the day, a whole lot
back in the day.
I don't know anything about it now.
When my kids were, like 15, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when they were kind of into it a little bit, Cena was just coming on the scene. That was about when I paid attention to it a little bit because I want to know what they were watching. But Mike's got me back into it a little bit, and I get it because it's like, it's a soap opera for
100%.
It's a soap opera for adults who like some athletic action.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff they do is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Jumping from those ropes and then down onto the floor, or on, even if the table is rigged a little bit, you know what I mean? You're still jumping 10 feet, 8 feet through a table and onto somebody else, and the floor is there.
Yeah.
So in any event, Raw was mostly setups this week, everybody, for WrestlePalooza, which is this Saturday, the 20th. And, Braun Breaker and Bronson defeated LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. And then LA hit Jay with a BFT. I think they just wanted some they wanted something cringy for a payback match for WrestlePalooza. It's the inaugural ESPN Premium Live event, so it's going to be on ESPN if you want to check it out. I used to not appreciate it, but now that I got that kind of, Mike gave it that spin and that perspective, I'm like, now I watch it with a different eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't watch a ton of it, not as much as he does, but I still enjoy it, and it's kind of fun. So the ESPN does require a subscription to their unlimited plan to watch it, either directly or through an existing pay TV package like Hulu, Live TV, or Spectrum. So on the card, I only saw, I looked on the website to try to see who was on the card, and you guys might not recognize any of these people, but Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, they're going up against the Usos, Jay and Jimmy. You got Io Sky and Stephanie Vakir. Mike always pronounces it correctly, and I always butcher it. For the Women's World Championship match. John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock might have been wrestling back when you were paying attention to it maybe a little bit.
I don't remember a whole lot of him. Like I was like the WCW, like Goldberg, like Wolfpack, like that era, like Sting. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So anyway, it's odd to see Cena, because Cena's not super tall.
No,
he's a large human for sure, but Brock Lesnar is just freakishly large.
He's massive.
He is massive, dude. So it'll be an interesting match. And then you got champion Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, going up against Drew McIntyre. And then the tag team match that everybody is going to want to watch is CM Punk and his wife AJ Lee going up against world champion Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch. So a co-ed tag team match should be exciting. All right. We got that done. So now, what do we think about this?
I don't think Aaron's wrong when it's one of the best beers he's done. It's very good.
Super good. Malty. Got a lot of those like toasty bready notes in it.
And that's what I want you guys, because I'm still not very good at like describing the characteristics that, and like you both, that's how I want to get, so I can, Mike and I, we've been doing this for 6 years. We've tasted, Mike, I know we passed 900 beers that we've tasted on the pod. We do have all of it recorded. It's just not in a neat format yet. We have someone that helped us kind of work on that a little bit, but it's still in process. But we like to think of ourselves as cicerones, but we don't talk like cicerones in any way, shape, or form. So, but that's cool. Yeah. Anything else about? And obviously, this one's not going to be on Untapped, because I mean, he may have had some of his other ones, but this one, is not. I'd hate to. Maybe he made a stinker. I don't think he did, because he rarely makes a stinker. But I'm not even going to bother checking this Untapped. What do you think it would be? Even, if you appreciate Untapped or hate Untapped, whatever, what do you think it would go? And don't make Aaron feel bad, because, I rarely see, most of them are in the 3s, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean,
if there's a beer that's a 3.5, that is a great beer.
That's a really good
Really
beer.
good beer.
Anywhere from 3 to 4. Like if you're getting close to 4, that is outstanding.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say, as an Oktoberfest, this is definitely over a 3.5. I would put it over a 3.5. I haven't had enough Oktoberfest to say, oh, this is a 4.2 or a 4.3 or something like that, but it's pretty good.
So I'm usually like either I like it or don't like it. I think that's why I'm not huge on a.
Let's go with that.
So
because I mentioned Untapped earlier when we were setting up, and all 3 of you went, oh.
So I don't hate Untapped. I think it's actually a really cool app. Like there's people that come in and be like, oh, I saw so and so was at Oracle and he drank this new IPA. I had to come check it out. So like it's cool for
that,
seeing what like your friends and stuff are. Being a business owner, just reviews are an interesting
I bet
thing. So
it can be difficult.
Yeah.
When like people sometimes leave you a review, like
yeah,
an IPA. This beer's too hoppy for my taste. 0 stars.
yeah.
It's like, it's an IPA. What'd you expect? And then like
That's
sort of
the
thing
problem
is-
with
is
Untapped.
Kind of
Right. Right.
Or not problem, but an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
You know.
Some people rate the beer as if they're judging it, and other people use it as their like personal marker system. And when you conflate the two, and then you're trying to judge a beer off of that and say like, oh yeah, this beer's great because it has this score, it's like just public opinion. A lot of people like
Sure.
I guess. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely a contributor to that, because I use Untapped. I have 2 ratings, 5 or 0, and that's whether I would have it again. If I drink
That's
it again,
interesting.
I'd give it a 5. If I wouldn't drink it again, I'll give it a 0.
Well, the problem with Mike and I is we'll always drink it again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mike has got a lot of good isms. So he would say, if I had this and this, in the fridge or whatever, and somebody says, well, I'm going to have this one, Mike, do you want this one? He's going to be like, yes. You know what I mean? Yes, I will. Does it have any alcohol in it? Please.
is it wet? Is it cold?
Yeah. Is it wet? Is it cold? Yeah. Give me some. So, all right, good. Well, we'll finish this while, now, as far as like sports.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink.
And really, I could have put it on a speaker for everybody to hear, but it would
is more fun this
bounce.
way.
It would bounce back and forth and echo. So I didn't ask any of you, what sports do you follow? So we do like kind of like the big 3, big 4, and then if there's something like Wimbledon or something in a sport where it's World Cup, obviously we'll cover it or give an opinion, or if something crazy happens, we'll talk about it.
So NFL is my favorite.
There you go.
So I like NFL. I do fantasy, do all that fun stuff. I'm in 3 leagues. I am 0-2 in all 3. I'm not very thrilled about that, especially because I won one last year. But I got Baker Mayfield, and he always wins championships in fantasy. Everyone knows that.
Right on.
Do you have him? And
Yeah.
me and Jamie are in a Brewers league together.
Okay.
That was a little bit of a joke. I picked up Baker Mayfield last year and was like, well, now I'm going to win because I have Baker, and I did win. So now he's my lucky rabbit's foot.
Nice.
Red Wings. And then I like going to baseball games. I don't follow it. It's a little boring, but when you go to like Comerica, you never have a bad time.
Right.
Basketball, I'm not huge on except for March Madness.
Right. Okay.
So I don't follow any of the major sports. I used to follow MotoGP for racing.
Sure.
I was in auto sports, and then now I'm a climber, so I follow the climbing World Cup.
Gotcha.
But
And
used
you
to follow snowboarding in the X Games. It's basically whatever I'm doing. I'm kind of following the pros.
now the car, I've been to Oracle, and you had the car, you had the sim.
I got a race sim there.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So we're in a NASCAR league. And so, we follow that, here in the pod, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but I don't know. Do you follow that much at all, or Indy or
NASCAR? Not much. Formula One, a
Formula-
little bit,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, it's too much. It's a soap opera. I just kind of stay out of it.
Gotcha. Jamie? Football, obviously.
Yeah, I like the big 4
Okay.
professional sports. Don't follow a lot of college.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I like baseball probably the most, just because the season's nice and long, and there's a new game every night.
Sure.
I mean, they have one off day, and you're like, why are they not playing?
Yeah.
And then you got to wait every week to get to football or whatever, basketball.
Yeah.
So that's generally it, though.
What's your favorite baseball team?
The Tigers.
Tigers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, little reminder first, though, coming up, when we have the next pod, and I think I'm starting to figure out right now that we don't have a lot of people in the chat, because that link in YouTube probably died, and I'm going to have to figure out why. So in any event, that's just something I had to get off my chest, because I kept looking at the screen wondering, like, where is everybody? In any event, this will go up to Spotify. It'll go to YouTube. People will be able to grab it and see it and listen to it. But next week, when we've got the pod, it'll be the day before the Ryder Cup. So I'm a big golf junkie.
Sure.
Played it a lot when I was young, and I'm not going to go over the team yet, because we'll be able to do that next week, but that'll be September 26th through the 28th. Pretty exciting stuff. That's a big deal. I think, there's a lot of years where more people watch the Ryder Cup than they will like the Masters.
Yeah.
So NASCAR, Bass Pro Shops night race, Bristol Motor Speedway. Mike had Joey Logano. Joey took 5th for 3rd place for Mike. I had Bubba Wallace, and of course, the week I picked Bubba Wallace, DNF. I don't know if he bit the wall. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't going to tune in to see what was going on, but a little annoyed. And I picked Logano this week because I had him the week before, and he did really well, because he was now they're in the playoffs. So when they were in the top 16, they had 3 races to go down to the top 12, and Joey was right there at the cutoff. So I knew he was going to be really motivated, and it was either going to be do or die. And he did, got me some points. Then Mike picked him up, because then he was at the cutoff of the 12. And then hopefully is equally as motivated to, stay in the playoffs. And then I think Mike picked Elliott. I can't check my phone right now because it's being used as a webcam, but I think he picked Elliott this week, and we'll see how that goes. Now that is the USA Today 301 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's a 1 mile oval track in Lund. I thought this was a typo, but it's Loudon, New Hampshire, nicknamed the Magic Mile. Now, Mike, I missed you on this one, because I know if I read that off, you would have something and we'd have a good rim shot. But you'll be back next week, and we'll have more of that then. College football. Did anybody follow?
I follow a little bit. Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
But I've been keeping a little bit of tabs on it.
Right. Well, Saturdays, your places are probably open.
Yes.
Sundays,
That's why.
probably not.
Right.
Right.
That's why I've
Yeah.
been
So,
out of it a little bit.
And Mike, he works Saturdays also. He's in the distribution business, so that's why he doesn't follow college much at all. Follows it a little bit, on the apps and whatnot, but NFL is king.
Yeah.
And so I'll just go real quick. Georgia defeated Tennessee. Funny story. I was at the Michigan State game, and a kid below me that played lacrosse at Tennessee had his Tennessee jersey on at the Michigan State football game, but was just chomping at the bit, wanting to know what's happening in the game, because when you're in those stadiums, the Wi-Fi goes to shit because there's too many phones trying to connect to one tower. But as Michigan State in the second half, started to pull away and people emptied out of the stadium, I figured, well, maybe I can get my YouTube TV, on my phone. And sure enough, I did. Well, he was watching the game. He was super excited. And then I found out Georgia, and I don't know if that went to overtime or not, but they ended up beating Tennessee. So I felt bad for that kid. Texas A&M obviously defeated Notre Dame. That's an interesting win right there. And then we were wondering if South Florida, they were ranked 18th, if they were the real deal or not. But Miami went in and pummeled them 49-12.
Mm-hmm.
So either South Florida had a bad game and they're not the real deal, or Miami's just that good.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if the U's gonna do something this year or not, because last year they kind of fell on their face. U of M took care of business against CMU. MSU allowed Youngstown State to kind of hang in there, but they figured things out late in the game, kind of like the Lions game, where the Lions kind of let the Bears kind of hang around a little bit, and then second half it was
floodgates open.
Yeah, floodgates open, and the Lions kind of figured out who they were and what they wanted to do, and that, or the Bears just shit themselves, and not sure, but Mike is a diehard Bears fan, so that was probably
a rough game.
That was a rough game. That was a rough game for him to watch. U of M is at 3-0 Nebraska. That'll be interesting. We'll really see how an 18-year-old quarterback he's a man-child. If you've been following or not,
he's a giant. Yeah.
He is a freak. But we'll see how that works against Nebraska. And then MSU is at number 25 and 3-0 USC, traveling across the country. I bleed green and white, but the O-line and the D-line were like, so I'm going to be watching this game with kind of like bated breath, wondering, if it's going to be I'm not sure. All right, NFL real quick. So you guys chime in.
Sure.
So Mike, you called the Bears game. A lot of times he'll hedge his bets just so he'll either bet for the other team to win, so that even if his Bears lose, he wins.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. But this one wasn't. He knew Dan Campbell was going to get these guys just jacked up to play them. And it was going to be he called it, and it was. And
Johnson homecoming. Yeah.
So, and then when was the last time the Chiefs started 0-2?
That I don't know. That's a good question.
You're going to want to tip that up.
Tip this up.
Yeah.
Oop.
There we go.
There we go.
It's
been a minute.
Yeah. Any guesses? Last time the Chiefs were 0-2 to start the season.
Was it before Alex Smith was his quarterback?
I don't know when Mahomes got drafted. 2014.
I was gonna guess 2015.
It was
2014. Andy Reid was the coach, and they went 9-7 and missed the playoffs that year by. Okay. Justin Fields is out for a concussion, so not looking good for the Jets. Is this his fault? Because the same thing, he just got his ass beat when he was a Bear.
Yeah.
And now he's getting his ass beat again. And then Brandon Aubrey. Did you guys see this? Anybody can appreciate this.
He has a monster leg.
Holy, yeah, 64 footer.
Yeah.
or
Oh.
64 footer, 64 yards
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take it to OT. So he's a former soccer player,
Right.
turned NFL kicker. He had a 51 yarder in the second quarter, a 44 yard in the fourth quarter, the 64 yarder to take it to OT, and then the 46 yard walk off in OT to win the game. He won the game for Dallas. If this guy goes down, if this guy gets hurt, Dallas is screwed.
Yeah,
Right.
He's their best player.
Right now they are.
Since Micah Parsons left.
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah.
Some are
So
saying.
last year in 24, he had a 65 yarder. Will he get a 70 yarder this year? What do you think?
70's a long. That's a long kick.
Did you see the 64 yarder?
Yeah.
It was a 70 yard kick.
Did he have room to go?
Wait, lots of leg. Not even close to the crossbar.
I want to see him try for sure.
Oh,
Right.
it better.
What's the record?
65. Did he say that was 65? 66 or 67, I believe.
Is that Tucker?
Oh, he'll get a 70.
And I don't know. Mike's going to get really mad and correct me because he's like,
Yeah.
he's the savant. He's the NFL encyclopedia, along with our friend Nate. And well, Eric, you're pretty good too. I didn't mean to leave you out. I apologize, Eric. But yeah, at one point, the guy that had the record had the half foot. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a long time ago. So I don't know if they're doing modern day or they changed the balls or the uprights or something like that.
But I thought that kick was only like 60 yards or something.
Or maybe it's been beaten, but I think it's 66 yards, 66 or 67 yards is the record right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 64 yarder, I mean, it cleared the crossbar by 10 feet.
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't even nowhere near close. So, this week, Cowboys, sorry. Well, I'm not even going to say this because I think Mike, you and I think we're 0-4 still. We were both 0-2 last week. I think we're 0-4. We've won some games on our picks, but they're not covering. So real quick to wrap this up, this week, it seems like the spread is really light on the 2-0 versus the 0-2 teams. It was really weird. I looked across the board, but I'm going to take the Vikings -2.5 versus the Bengals. They don't have Joe Burrow.
No.
Yeah.
So the Vikings only -2.5 with no Joe Burrow. Now, maybe before the games start, that's going to change, but that was what I saw last night.
It might
on
be
my
because
phone.
JJ McCarthy was hurt too. So because Wentz is playing for him now.
For JJ McCarthy?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
I didn't do my research, my due diligence, but I'm still going to take that bet. Colts -4.5 versus the Titans. Colts are
looking really good.
They're looking really good. Mike warned me about that. You did, Mike, last week with my bet against the Colts. I took the Broncos because the Broncos looked really good, but the Colts beat them by 1. All right, those are my two, but I also really like the Bucks -6.5 versus the Jets, especially since Justin Fields. I mean, I forgot who they're going to put in there, but in any event,
The Jets are the new Lions, right?
what's that?
The Jets are the new Lions, right?
Yeah. No. All right. So that is sports. And let's get another beer here. What do we got?
brought a Zwickel, which is a unfiltered version of our Helles.
All right. And I'm not going to do an official Maple Grill ad since Maple Grill is one of our sponsors, but we do have the growler in the middle of the table, and I'm going to be pouring into my Maple Grill glass. So thanks, guys. I'm going to get that back. Put a cap on it.
Thanks, man.
We're going to talk some beer here in just a second. Oh, thank you.
I've got more in the cooler if you need some.
Oh, we always like to hear that. I might need you a little closer to the mic because I got this thing cranked. Just a little bit, though. All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All the way across the table. Now, this style is another Oktoberfest style, correct? Especially in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Southern German beer style. That's what they do. The Oktoberfest is generally a little more alcohol, a little more hop.
Yeah, I'd like more of a Marzen, or what's the correct pronunciation of that, by the way? Is it Marzen?
I say Marzen.
Marzen.
Who knows?
Yeah, okay.
That's what I say.
But is that the classic Oktoberfest, or is that just here in the States? Mike's going to be able to tell us when he comes back.
I mean, I feel like Marzen and Oktoberfest are interchangeable. It's just what we use. But basically, they brew it in March in order for it to be served at September for Oktoberfest.
Aaron just got done telling me that. Like, I never knew that, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
they start brewing it in March.
Yeah,
and then it goes through a series of cold crashes and temperature fluctuations, and
let it condition and mellow out. But because they use more hops in it and have the higher alcohol, it needs that time to mellow and meld together and become drinkable. But it's preserved, because of
no wonder they celebrate it. It's like, shit, it's coming out. It's coming out of the fermenter, everybody. Let's go.
Yeah. And it was always to use before the new harvest of everything. It's like using up everything that they had the previous year. Well, cool. And you have the hop harvest coming.
Right.
But the hop harvest isn't until the fall. So
gotcha. Yeah, this is very good.
Is Marzen mean March?
I believe so.
That's what I thought.
Don't.
It was one of those
someone
told me that, and I was like, that sounds right. I'll believe it.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So I got to get at least a couple of our normal segments out of the way, because Grandpa Blackhawk and our NOTD correspondent, Jake Danielewski. Thanks, guys, for sending me the NOTD. Now, NOTD stands for Next One to Die.
Okay.
And it's just a tip of the cap to celebrities, sports figures, important people in society that have passed away. So you cannot get into NOTD, and not as a sign of disrespect necessarily, but if we're going to tip the cap and celebrate, we typically don't recognize suicides, even though that's a horrible thing. Or people that are typically murdered. So it's like, okay, this is a great segment, Dave. Yeah, this is awesome. But the three that made the NOTD this week, Ricky Hatton. Now, we're probably not, when I first got that, I was like, nope, don't know that person. So he's a former 2-division world champion boxer. Died in his home on September 14th in Greater Manchester. Now, when I read through the bio, I'm like, I do remember this guy. Would never, if somebody said, hey, Ricky Hatton, blah, 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 I wouldn't have. But reading through it, I kind of do remember. He was 46 years old. No particular cause of death at this point. But obviously, when boxers, when you're getting, especially all the people that he's fought here on the stateside, and maybe something happened and just and his brain gave out or something. He was a British boxing icon. He won the IBF super lightweight world title in 2005 and the WBA welterweight title against Louis Calazo, European boxer, in 2006. So rest in peace, Ricky. The next one, you might not know the name, but you'll know who he is. This is Ron Demena. Demena. Sorry for the pronunciation. Do you know who Ron was?
I do not.
Focus on Ron. He died September 6th. So this is a little bit older, but we wanted to bring this in because he is an iconic person. He was 88 years old, 13 stores nationwide. You've definitely heard him. He founded the Ron John Surf Shop.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I know who
he founded that surf shop in 1959. So, I mean, only 13 stores, and you pretty much anybody over the age of 20, typically, if you say Ron John, they're like, oh, the surf shop.
Yep.
Or see the shirts or whatever. So rest in peace, Ron. And then this person you may have because of your music selections, Mike and maybe Jamie, and possibly Cody as well. Thomas Tompa Lindbergh. 52 years old, passed away. heavy metal vocalist. Died on the 16th. Swedish vocalist who fronted many death metal bands, mostly notably At the Gates. So if you've heard that band,
Familiar with them, yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'm 3 for 0.
Yeah. He was active as a musician and composer since the late 1980s. And the other out of his bio, they wanted to mention he also taught social studies. Former teacher.
There you go.
Rock on. All right, so that's the next one to die segment. All right, so let's get into talking about beer, because a lot of what this podcast is about is, drinking and tasting the beer. And Jamie, I asked you for that sheet a while ago, and now I'm having trouble finding it. Which one
One
is
you got
it?
in your hand right now.
Nope, there it is. All right, so let's start it off. When did you know you wanted to get into this business?
I guess we'll go around.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell into this business. But I mean, my family is in the bar business.
Okay.
So my mom owns Baywood Lounge in Saginaw. So like I grew up in a bar a little bit. But I didn't like go to school for brewing or anything. I went for Parks and Recreation. And
You and Chris Pratt.
yes, it took me a second. I was like, the
Yeah.
actor? Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a great show, by
Yeah,
the way.
it is.
So it was funny. Anytime I tell someone that I was at Parks and Rec, like, oh, is Leslie Nope, like, you guys friends? Like, so got a job after college, moved to California, drank a lot of really good beer out there, decided to come home, and college actually worked for me, which was surprising because it doesn't always pan out, but it did for me for some reason. So I was like, well, I can move back to Michigan, and getting a job was super easy. Like, I'll get another one. And apparently I got lucky the first time. So having trouble finding work, and my business partner, Brandon, was like, hey, do you want to try brewing some beer? Like, yeah, that sounds fun. It's a fun hobby. And then him and another buddy of ours, Brennan, wanted to move on with their career. They went to school for business, and I wasn't doing anything. And we're like, well, I don't know, we like homebrew. There's no homebrew stores in here. So it was just slowly like, well, what if we did this? And it just slowly turned into the next thing you know, we're at a bank, like trying to get loans. And then this happened. So it just kind of was like I don't have a job and I like beer. So like, I can't find one right now. So maybe I just make my own.
That is the American entrepreneurial spirit,
So,
right?
that was basically how it happened. And
Yeah.
11 years later, we're still kicking.
That's awesome. Good story. When was your aha moment?
So I had made some wine in high school, and I'd gotten in trouble for drinking before. I couldn't buy alcohol or have people buy for me, so I figured I'd make my own.
Makes sense.
So making wine, got into college. I was still making wine, and me and a buddy started getting into beer. But we would go and have a friend pick up this. We'd go to the party store, make a mixed 6-pack, and we'd go hide it on the shelf somewhere, and then have somebody come and pick it up and buy it for us. And we just, it was like one night we were drinking, and like, if we can make wine, can't we make beer? And figured out that we could. We got tired of inconveniencing people to buy for us, so we started brewing in our dorm room. So fast forward, I bet
you got real popular.
Yeah, a little bit. We'd brew kegs and take them out to the bonfires and stuff. Yeah. So towards the end of college, we went on this field trip to Chrysler. I was in automotive engineering.
Okay.
And be in like the research development stuff. Go through, and it's just all sorts of cool stuff happening, and I am just enthralled. But as we're done with the tour and we're walking back, I'm looking at all of the people and what they're doing, and nobody looks happy at all. And I'm like, maybe I don't want to do this. And this beer stuff's pretty cool. So as soon as I got out of college, I was, even before that, I was kind of pushing to open my own brewery, but went back to work for once I got back to the area, I went to work for Midland Brewing Company, and then through that whole time was planning Oracle. So
Great. Yeah. Good story. How, Jamie, you?
I was a home brewer for a couple of years, and I was working at a different home brew supply shop, Michigan Brew Supply. And Matt and Nicole taught me a lot about everything I know, really. Nicole really helped me to get my first batch of it was a cider. She helped me get that going. Anyways, I was working for them when the pandemic started, and I was about to graduate. So as I was in the last month of my senior year of college, pandemic hit, and I could not find a job. Nobody wanted to even talk to me. So I got a call from somebody who was starting a brewery distillery in downtown Midland looking for help brewing.
Yeah.
And I said, I might be interested. And I really, at that time, had no intentions of going professional.
Right.
But the pandemic kind of forced my hand. So yeah,
Definitely people wanted to drink then.
Right. Well, we weren't even able to open because the state wasn't not issuing new licenses.
Oh, right.
Because they were just opening, they were just starting everything, and so that whole licensing process was a nightmare. Like moving through that was, it was an interesting time for me.
Sure.
Me getting out of college, graduating,
Yeah.
not being able to find any work anywhere. My wife's been. I've been a stay-at-home dad before that as I was going through college. So my wife's been taking care of us. And so it was like, can't really move away from where she's,
Right.
she's been supporting us all this time.
Right.
And so it was, yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it turned into something that I really enjoy now. Yeah, I can't think of it.
That's pretty cool.
I can't think of it any other way.
Any other way?
No, yeah.
Right. I do have a question though. So out of the Tyler from Loggers and Aaron from the Maple Grill couldn't make it tonight, but I've noticed a trend though in a lot of the brewers, and I can't remember. I met him at the Great Lakes Beer Festival at Dow Diamond from Midland Brewing. Can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but
Kyle.
I think maybe it was Kyle. Does Kyle have a beard?
No.
No.
Evan? It was probably Evan.
Yeah.
Evan does have a nice beard. Kyle has like a scruffy beard.
So I'm just wondering, like, is it a prerequisite to brew? And how is Aaron getting away with not having a beard?
I'm just lazy.
Okay.
That's exactly it.
Okay. I got you. I didn't know if I start home brewing, I got to like grow this out a little bit or something. No.
Aaron's more handsome, so he doesn't have much to hide.
And I wouldn't mind because I would love to stop, managing this or something along those lines. I'm not sure.
You'll just know after you start home brewing what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll just come to me.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. So I was going to ask, and if you have anything else you want to talk about or a funny story or something like that, let me know. Just interject and, take this wherever you want. But best beer that you've ever made, the style, and just do the particulars, the ABV, IBUs if you want to, or, or maybe craziest beer you've ever made that was actually, you didn't think was going to be very good, but turned out, kind of like Larry and Lori's Flights, Football, and Anything Else beer. He said he put a football in it. Well, I saw the video. He did put a football in it, and put in some grains that gave it leather and some hops that gave it a grassy. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I don't know. I hate to tell him it, but it was delicious. It was excellent. Something along those lines. I don't know.
Yeah. So the most popular beer that I brew, I do a sweet peanut butter stout. It's really good. So I use a non-fermentable sugar, lactose, that keeps it sweet, and then I use like a little peanut butter extract, and it's very dark and rich, and sweet and peanut buttery, and it's really solid beer. I don't repeat a whole lot of beers.
Right.
That's one that's like a one I do brew.
Sure.
Is what I make.
That sounds really good, actually.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my beer brewing isn't as much as these guys anymore. I'm doing a lot more wine now.
Okay.
I got brought on at Artisan in Old Town to make their wine for them. So I haven't had too many crazy examples.
Sure.
Probably worst beer, or I don't even know if it was the worst beer, but kind of a funny moment. So Lori and Larry that you were talking about from Cass River, I'm part of their club as well, and we get big barrels, 55-gallon barrels, and everyone brews a beer to put in it and fill
around
it.
the holidays or after the holidays. Is that the?
They do it like twice a year. Holiday is probably around one of the times they do it. Yeah.
You told me about that, and yeah.
And everyone brews a batch and fills it. And they did a coffee beer, which I don't like coffee at all. So maybe that has something to do with it. But so I brewed the beer and I was like, man, this beer looks really weird. Like it's not dark like a stout like it's supposed to. I don't know what happened. It tastes fine.
Yeah.
I'll go put it in the barrel. So I drop it off to them, and then like a day later, they're like, hey, we tried your beer. We can't put it in this barrel. I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. Like I get it. So I ended up taking it to the Winter Beer Fest, which was nice because I didn't have a beer for Winter Beer Fest. No, I did.
Oh, great.
So that wasn't the worst beer I've ever brewed, but the most interesting story of a beer that went wrong.
Right.
It's like, no, man, you can't be in this. But I was like, yeah. I dropped it off knowing like I'm probably gonna get that keg back.
Cody.
Oh man.
And you don't have to do a worst or whatever, but like a best that you can remember.
It's so hard when you ask a brewer about their best beer. It's like trying to choose your favorite child. It's
real,
terrible.
man.
They're all so different, but one I'm most proud of was actually a collab with Jamie and I. We did a Helles using Augustiner yeast.
Okay.
And that was fantastic. Still one of my
Sure.
top favorites. But I mean,
That's your first lager, right?
First lager. Yep, we had gotten some new tanks and finally had glycol chilling, and I could do a lager, and it was, that was super good.
Yeah, I'm familiar with glycol chilling right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
What do you glycol chilling?
No, I'm just because that has been like, I know. Let's put it this way: I know how important it is, especially when you've got stuff in the fermenters and your glycol goes out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's like, it's not 5-alarm, but it's important.
Yeah, somebody might be throwing some Britannomyces or something at that to try and help those beers out.
Yeah, well, or just making really special quick trips to try to get that thing working again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm here scrolling through all my recipes just to try to see if I can spark some thought.
But even somebody like myself, if you said, hey, try this, and they just went, holy I mean, oh, this is the most amazing thing. When did you make this? That kind of a reaction from one of your beers.
So I brewed a beer a while ago. We called it Low Life, but it's a 2% beer, so it only had 2% alcohol. But
okay, Mike just turned off the
yeah. Well, when we were
just kidding.
It was really inspired. We had a lot of beers that were coming out 8-9%. I think we had 3 beers over 8% in the tap room. So I was like, let's do a lighter one. So anyways, I used 100% rye malt. So it didn't taste thin. It didn't taste like a non-alcoholic beer. It tasted like beer. It didn't have that weird like thinness that they sometimes have, or the hops were still a little bit like that green flavor they can sometimes have when there's not enough alcohol.
Yeah,
but
piney.
I was really happy with how that one turned out. And where's the other one? We did a Mexican lager that I really liked. That one turned out really well. And I had one beer that was not good in my opinion. We tried to do it was a mix between like we mashed like you normally would a beer, but then we added a cider base of apples, thinking it would be kind of cool to do like Stephen King's, was it Graph?
Yeah.
we tried that, and it's I don't think it's actually a real thing. It was
It's
so
become a real thing. But
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yeah.
It was
fantasy
something
thing at first,
something
yeah.
Stephen King wrote about in one of his novels, and then but homebrewers have made it a thing. And I tried to make a batch. I did some quick research, and it was not good. It tasted whiny with
Right.
hops, and like it was just I don't know if my recipe was terrible or whatnot.
So based on that, though, I'll ask you guys the question because I've heard this from a couple of brewers. One of the most stressful, hardest things to make, if you're a brewer working for like one of the big 3 or 4, and you've got to make a Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, because of the expectation of the customer.
Mm.
And if you're putting 1,500 gallons into a tank,
Mhm.
and you don't have the pH right, you don't have some of these markers right to where, you start brewing this thing and it's like something's off, and you got to flush 1,500 gallons because the expectation, I mean, that's a lot of cases of beer.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's like, it has to be right because you've got all these Bud Light, or light beer from Miller, Michelob Light, all these, they are still the number one selling beers by volume in the
Yeah.
country, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
I-
yeah.
I think-
would
Yeah,
assume
yeah.
so, yeah.
And so, and it's not there's not really a creative process to it. It's just like you have to get it right. Whereas, like Aaron's Oktoberfest, excellent, and might be a little bit different than his last Oktoberfest, but that's the beauty of craft brewing,
Right.
is the expectation like, hey, someone walks into the tap room, or gets it off the shelf and is like expecting a new experience.
So
Is that fair?
my motto has always been it doesn't have to be consistent, but it has to be consistently good. So there's still marks to hit. The pH still has to be right.
Right.
There's certain things that are going to, like the fermentation needs to go off without a problem. And if that happens, then like there's some things you can do to kind of help, but
Right.
otherwise if it's not good, it's got to go.
Right.
The this isn't confirmed, but I suspect a lot of the big brewers have lots of brand names. And when
Okay.
you go to, I don't know, the duty free and you pick up a case of the cheap, $2 or $7 for, 14 pack, that sort of
$2 chuck,
thing.
whatever it is.
Yeah. Like you're getting the stuff that they didn't feel was right for the Bud Light package. It's a little off.
So
it's
they're
a
not
little
wasting
weird.
it.
Yep. They're not
Yeah.
wasting it. They're finding a way to put it out
That's
there.
interesting. I've
I
never heard of that.
I heard that's the natural light is, and that was a bad batch of Busch Light or whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
I've had some PBR. Does not taste like PBR. Like it's something else got funneled in.
Yeah. I don't know. Josh, have you ever had some PBR that didn't taste like PBR? I don't know.
But
Okay.
they also have the benefit that they have these giant tanks to blend stuff. So
Sure.
they're blending batch to batch to batch to batch, where we're brewing one batch and that's it.
Right.
Like we got one shot at
Right.
it. They can take, this is a little out of spec this way. We're going to blend it back this way. So,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, I really know nothing of that size of the industry.
Right.
It's
That's just what I was told with,
Yeah.
some other people in terms of like, and that's not to say, the craft brew industry, and please, I'm saying this stuff not as an expert, but correct me if I'm wrong, because this is kind of what I've perceived. So there's a little leeway in what you're creating, but like you said, and I'll just take what you said and add it to my, it's got to be good.
it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. Because if it's not, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? For the competitiveness of that market, right? In the craft brew industry, it's like someone gets a bad batch of Bud Light, they're going to like throw it out and go get another case, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if they go to your tap room, or they see your cans on the shelf or something like that, and you're a micro brewery or just a not a regional, but whatever one step lower is, I'm sure some people, if they get my brother-in-law got a bad batch of Bell's Lakes
Lager of the Lakes.
Lager of the Lakes. He went out and, oh, this is bad. I'm going to go get out another one. But
He's
you
already
might
had good experiences with it. Right?
He's already
So,
had good
you know,
experiences
he-
with it. Right. So if somebody's trying your stuff for the first time, you want it to be really good.
We got one shot.
You got one shot.
And some of that can be too with like how you get a hold of some of those beers. You know, like if that Lager of the Lakes that was bad was stored warm.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Bell's still bottle conditions everything, right?
Well, what
So they could have had live yeast in there stored warm, and like they picked it up off the floor warm, and it was.
So we went to a tap takeover at Horrocks, but it wasn't a full tap takeover. It was just a partial for Bell's tap takeover.
Yeah.
And one of the reps there, we asked him a couple questions about stuff like, A, how come Two Hearted is 7%, but it hits you like a 9 or 10%? And everybody gets that smile that you're giving me right there. Like, yeah, we know what you're talking about. And he kind of like, you could tell right away, he kind of smirked and, he had this like, well, yeah, I mean, that was his answer. So he's not, but, I asked about the lakes, and they changed the name at one point because it was Lager of the Lakes. There was a name before that, or it changed to something else of the lakes. And right now I'm missing but he said, oh, he's like, I told him the name and it was either that or the previous name. My brother-in-law got a bad batch. What's going, he's like, seriously? He says, no, we changed it on purpose to something else of the lakes because XYZ, and that shouldn't have been on the shelf. Wherever he got that from, that stuff should not have been on the shelf. That should have been removed. But somebody probably bought a shit ton of it and or like, no way, we're selling it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or got missed by a rep going through picking beers up. Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to work at Witchcraft Tap Room, and we would occasionally have an issue where there were kegs of things that a brewery had made 2 years ago that somehow end up on tap at Witchcraft, and they're like, "Please take that off."
Yeah.
I mean, we can play the blame game, but
Sure.
that it just happens. Like you end up with old stuff in the market.
My experience on how that happens, just in the limited time I've been doing sales and seeing some back rooms of some of the tap rooms and stuff like that, is things are going great. Owners and buyers get really excited, and they want to get stuff before they can't get it, especially from microbreweries. And so they kind of stockpile a little bit, and then something happens where business goes for a few months or for a while, or obviously during the pandemic, you never knew what the hell was going to happen. But I can see how, a beer could get lost in the shuffle, especially some of these that have like 32 taps and they've got that room behind there. And it's just, there's kegs all over the place. The management of it. Yeah, I could see that.
There's some bar owners that I've heard they'd get a special thing and then they sit on it for 5 more years just to make it like a vintage thing.
Oh, like, rock on. Yeah.
Don't do that. Like the beer's, it's ready to serve. That's why we put it in the keg. Like,
right.
Serve it now, please.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even think of that too. Like they're cellaring it.
Yeah.
But it's not really going to work out, is it?
No. I mean,
it could. Okay.
But,
All right. I didn't even think about that. You could like, you're going to cellar your Goose Island, like a lot of people do.
Yeah. They shouldn't do that either.
No.
No.
Yeah. Sometimes those Goose Islands don't age well.
that too.
So that was the next question. I think I text you the picture of that Goose Island that had the Blatons.
Yeah.
Is that the correct Blatons?
Yep.
Okay. Someone gave me a Goose Island special edition Blatons.
That was awful nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So in the industry, like obviously with the brand name of that particular spirit, is it because of Goose Island's reputation and the resources that they have that they can kind of pull that off? Whereas I'm just saying, like, what makes it so special? Because if you really, did your craft, could you make something just like it? And people would be like, oh, I can't taste the difference.
So
I don't know.
I have my opinions on the bourbon industry. It's a lot of it is marketing.
Okay.
You have such tight regulations on what you can do and call it bourbon,
right?
Make bourbon. It's A lot of it's the same. I mean, there's nuances and things like that. It's
Sure.
so. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot of that's just marketing. That'd be my opinion on it.
In my experience, I've gotten barrels from say Heaven Hill, and I bought 6 at a time. Every single one of those barrels was extremely different. So it comes down to the wood itself, where it came from, more than the whiskey brand itself. So when
Okay.
you throw Blanton's on there, that's they're teaming up and doing a
Sure.
they're collaborating and trying to get the brands
Yeah.
spread. But
Right.
in terms of the product itself, like it's luck of the draw. If you're doing a single barrel, good luck. If you're blending all of these, they get 100 barrels. Cool. You're blending and getting a more representative product. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a whole different thing. Like I thought I knew a little bit about brewing, and then I started working at the Maple Grill, and then realized, through talking with Aaron and just other brewers like you and like I know nothing. I mean, just some of the nuances that you're talking about. You know what I mean?
You could spend a lifetime on yeast. You could spend a lifetime on malt.
Yeah.
Like every single aspect of brewing has so much depth to it that,
Sure.
like, I don't feel like I know anything.
Really?
Like it's to the point where it's like I'm just trying stuff and seeing it. I have an educated guess that this might work,
Right.
but I have no certainty.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But like you were looking up some of your recipes.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is like that list could actually, you could just sit there and scroll forever, depending on how long you've been brewing or the sources of your recipes. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, or do you look up the recipes and go, okay, I'm going to tweak this way, and I'm going to tweak that way?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's generally how I operate.
Okay.
I did this. I have this recipe. I didn't like this about the beer. I'm going to change this to move towards what I want it to be like.
Sure.
So, and it's learning the levers to pull to
Yeah.
be able to direct it where you want
Okay.
it to go. But then you're also dealing with these agricultural products that change every single year. So
Yeah.
how do you?
Yeah.
That's why Bud Light or any of the big brewers are so fantastic at what they do. It's that they can take this changing agricultural product and create the same thing over and over.
Over and over again.
It's impressive.
How is that as far as your business then? As far as, people come in and say, "Hey, I want some of this." And you're like, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that
You have
happens a
to
lot.
educate a lot of your customers then?
Yeah, that happens a lot. Because on the small scale, so we can see like a lot of experimental hops and things like that are small runs that I can buy small amounts of. And sometimes it's not going to be there next year because it didn't work out or it wasn't popular,
Right.
or whatever, or it changed, the product itself changed because of like agricultural issues, or that hop just doesn't grow anymore, or people aren't growing it. So yeah, we definitely see a lot of that.
Okay. No, I mean, I just, I walk into the store right here and I'm seeing all the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a little overwhelming. So like, anybody coming in for the first time that wants to start to brew,
Sure.
how much time do you think you spend with that one person to get them going?
It depends on
Got
the
to be
person.
hours.
It can be. A lot of people who are interested in brewing and all that do a lot of homework themselves.
Okay.
So they come in somewhat knowledgeable
All right.
on how it works. They've watched YouTube and read things. But we usually try to start like baby steps, So for example, you take grain, you soak it in hot water, creates sugar, you ferment it. That's a pretty big step for someone. Like, I have to take this grain that's in my hand and make sugar out of it.
Right.
Whereas like, yeah, but we can start you small and I can sell you the sugar already. It's a malt extract. They already, you just have to put it in a
Right.
kettle and mix it up. And then once they get comfortable doing that, like, okay, I understand the brewing process. Now I want to make my own malt sugar. So it's kind of like a gradual thing. Like,
Okay.
let's start baby steps. Let's get you the boxed mac and cheese, that you just mix together. It the instructions are right there. Just follow it. It'll make
Right.
good beer.
Yeah.
And then if you feel comfortable with that, come back, see me. We'll add more steps to it to get you to the more pro level brewing that
Okay.
like these guys do.
Right. So that they had ads, and it got in my algorithm on Facebook and whatever, but it was this little keg, about this big, and you pour the packet in, and then I don't know how much later, boom, you got beer.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, that sounds like blasphemy. That's like, that didn't feel like brewing to me.
Yeah. Our beginner
That felt like making Kool-Aid.
Our beginner kits are a little bit more in depth than that.
Okay. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're like super like, I want to start like super small and like as basic as possible, those are good, foot in the door type stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, like our beginner box kits it's like the malt extract, you still have to boil it, you still steep some grains, you add a little bit of hops, and you cool it, you put in a fermenter, you put yeast. So it's still the brewing process.
Yeah.
It's just simplified until because there's a lot going on. Like they said, like you can spend a lifetime on one specific thing. So
sure.
But yeah, it's and you see those kind of just, here's a barrel, put some stuff in, and it's good. There's a ton of different companies and brands that do those. They pop up, they go away, they pop up again. But
sure. Okay. Yeah. Interesting stuff. And like I said, at some point, Mike and I hopefully will get to the point where this stuff all kind of works a little better than it did tonight. And, we can start kind of monkeying with that kind of thing and start, because it'd be kind of fun to put our own little logo.
Oh, sure.
Like I've got on that glass right there.
Oh yeah.
On some beer and pass it out to friends and stuff. And that's kind of like, that'd be the cool thing. Yeah.
And it's really not that hard to brew a beer. Like I know we kind of made it seem like it was crazy, but it's as long as you know the process and you keep everything clean and sanitized, it's not too hard to make good beer.
Sure. And I've now that I've been working there's been a couple times where I've gone in and it's like, hey, this person's sick, or, with Aaron's, schedule situation right now, hey, can you help clean this fermenter?
Yeah.
Or can you help clean the boil kettle? That kind of thing. So I do have an understanding now of like the whole sanitation process and how important it actually is.
Yeah.
And I never, ever have worn the correct when I walk in there. I usually have these tennis shoes on, and I'm like, oh God, because then I don't want caustic or the sandy to splash, and because these shoes right here are like sponges. They'll soak that stuff up, like, and but yeah. Any other things, like if you wanted people to know, I'll go through any special events as we start to wrap this up. Each of you, like you have your sea beans at some point. You could talk about that or not. I know we went to your sea beans in the winter.
Yeah. Yep. Usually it's like every February, March. Depends on when we get around to it. But yeah.
But if you have any events or things that are coming up that people, would want to go to, I want to get that out right now.
Yeah. So the first Saturday of November, every single year, this is a yearly thing. And this is not just me. So if you're listening somewhere outside of Michigan, this is all over the country. The first Saturday of November, which this year, if I can figure out my months, is November 1st, is National Learn to Brew Day. So homebrew shops and even some breweries all over the country host home brewers to teach them how to brew. So we host one here where you show up, the Cass River people, Lori, Larry, that whole crew, they'll be here. There'll be different demos. So like, all right, here's the easy way to get your foot in the door, the easy extract brewing. There's a little bit more advanced if you want to check that out. So you just come and learn how to brew. So that is
November 1st.
First Saturday of November every single year.
Okay. Awesome. And before we get to Cody, I did not want to I didn't want to leave Jamie out. And Three Bridges. What do we got here?
It's a red IPA I just brewed. I found a new malt from Gambrinus. It says it's a red base malt, and I was.
Is that like Red X?
It's a, yeah. I was taken in by the.
You can get ingredients. Right?
Yeah.
Sort of.
I was taken in by the marketing and thought 100% red base malt. So this was the result of that.
There's a base malt called Red X that I forget who does it. It's not Breeze. It's because I had to get it from Country Malt Group, but did the same thing. So I'm kind of happy. I can't get it anymore. So now I'm happy to know that Gambrinus does that because people really like that malt a lot. If it's comparable for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember what Red X was.
It was just a base malt that you could mash, and it was just red.
Yeah,
You didn't have to put any specialty or anything.
Yeah, pretty sure that's what this is. Then.
That's why I'm excited to know Gambrinus is doing that.
This is really good.
Yeah,
I'm getting the red. Can I say amber? Would that be
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting that.
It's interchangeable, yeah.
Yeah. And then IPA on the finish. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it is really good.
It's one of my favorite beers you've made.
Yeah, right on, man. Thanks.
Okay, is this the same one that I drank the last time I was
Yeah, it's mellowed out a little bit since you had it. I think we just had it on tap the last when you were over there.
Awesome.
So IPAs, my last question. And I think I had this in the format. If you were able to. So IPAs, from what I've read, just took off in the craft brew industry and very popular. So to the extent that it was kind of like, okay, they were started off more like what we would call the West Coast, where they're super hoppy, piney, almost dank.
Yep.
Right. And then the people on the East Coast will say, we're not letting the West Coast people, so they started with the hazies and the sort of the New England IPAs. From what
that was one beer. It was one beer that started the whole New England thing.
Yeah.
They only call it New England because brewery was in Vermont.
Okay.
But that was one single beer that
just kicked it off.
Yeah.
Heady Topper, yeah.
Heady Topper?
Yeah, from the Alchemist in Vermont.
Okay.
But yeah, New England just is a name because
because it originated there.
It's terribly
unique. Spread around there.
Yeah.
Like wildfire. And
they don't send kegs of that out of their tap room. They only send cans or something like that. Like you can't get a keg of it anywhere but in that tap room.
Okay.
But
I found cans of it in Colorado. I did not know how, but they had it up there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then now we've got the American IPA. I see that style, and it's somewhere in between the New England and the West Coast. No, correct me. I that's where a lot of these Americans I get. They're flavorful. They seem a little maltier, heavier mouthfeel, but they don't have the, they don't have a punch to the face like some of the West Coast ones did, where you're just like, you feel like you're eating a handful of Brussels sprouts. No, or kind of.
I've always assumed American is West Coast. Like that's like the original IPA.
Okay. That's what I've never heard of American IPA as its like own
thing.
Yeah,
okay.
and maybe I'm just a little behind. It could be.
And
but
again,
the Midwest is claiming that because
it could be.
Yeah.
Which even like I don't know,
maybe
not sure what a Midwest IPA is.
Maybe the Midwest was jealous because they're like, hey, you guys.
Two Hearted and Centennial, those are Midwest.
Yeah, I just think of like a caramel malt IPA.
So what is Two Hearted? I mean, they label it as an IPA, but do they label it as New England American?
No, but it would be a Midwest. I mean, that is the thing that cemented Midwest IPA. That if you look at Shorts has Humalupa, and like all of them are right in that same realm.
Right.
Like Centennial and Two Hearted are virtually the same beer. I think Two Hearted uses Centennial hops.
Yeah.
Both use some caramel
Centennial
malt.
from
They're both
Founders.
7%.
Right.
Like, that is
wink 7%. So then did everybody go, okay, well, to try to like figure another like niche in this market, the black IPAs, the red IPAs,
Yeah.
how did that all get,
Um,
or is it just the craft brewer's mind that's like, okay, I've done this a few times, it's good.
It's a homebrew
Homebrew.
thing. for
Oh, is it
sure.
really?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
homebrew mind, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to think the craft brew industry came from the homebrewers,
Sure.
and we were as homebrewers doing just dumb shit all the time, trying to like
yeah.
Figure stuff out.
what can we throw in here to make it like crazy and wild and different?
Right.
When you're a pro brewer like these guys, like if you fuck up a batch, it's like, well, that's a bunch of money down the drain. That sucks. We're a home brewer. It's like, okay, well, here's a $30 batch of 5 gallons. Like, I don't fucking care what it turns. Like, I'm just gonna throw some shit in and see what happens.
Right.
And then sometimes it works out. You know,
Right.
there are no rules when I mean, some home brewers will tell you there's rules. There's no rules. You just throw some stuff in, see what happens, and then
Right.
sometimes black IPAs and red IPAs and things like that come out, and then those home brewers become pro brewers and they do it, or
Sure.
you know,
Aaron said he started as home brewing.
he was one of my first customers.
Oh, awesome.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't met many people in the industry that didn't homebrew first or homebrew during it. If they got pulled in to be like a lab tech or something, they started homebrewing.
Yeah, that's what when we were talking with Blake Austin, that was back in episode like 76. You know, we're 301 right now, but Blake said, you know, as opposed like what they're doing up there, if you do go down to not necessarily Bell's, but I think he said Founders in particular, you'll literally see people in white coats with clipboards.
mhm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's beakers and there's,
Oh
you
yeah.
know what I mean? And not all of them, I'm not saying, but there is, just because maybe that they're at that level where it's like, hey, you know, we got to put something out there because you know, we've got all this overhead and we've got all this stuff, all these assets and everything, and we got to put out something that whatever are when you get a group of people together and you ask them like what they think is really good, what are those little groups called, the focus groups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure they've got a room where they bring in you know, and do focus groups
100%
and,
Yeah.
they do. Yeah.
Tasting panels for
I was
sure.
gonna say we were at
Yeah.
the beer conference in Kalamazoo. I forget which one it is now. They were the one of the speakers was the tasting panels. Like he did a keynote on like his tasting panel.
Yeah.
Like he's got like 5 or 6 people that's all they do is taste beer, and they're
Yeah.
Every
it's
day,
crazy.
10 a.m.
Yeah.
now at that level I wonder, do you have to have your Cicerone certification in order for them to like bring you in and do that?
Probably.
Or you just have to have a good palate and be able
Okay.
to pick stuff out, because that was one of the more enlightening parts of that is some of those people, like they dosed it with like off flavors. They would dose like certain samples and you could taste them, and some of them they go around the table and you taste it and you're like, this tastes fine to me, and then like other people would be like, wow, this really tastes like lemony or something like that.
Right.
You know, it tastes like celery. And, you know, like I don't get that at all. So like some people definitely have better
Sure.
taste buds than other
Sure.
people when it comes to that stuff.
Okay. Last question, unless you, and again, we can go as long as you guys want to go, but IBUs. Mike and I forever, and Mike is absolutely, it's like, it's bullshit. It is the most ridiculous, like metric, you know, analytic thing, because
Yeah.
you know, depending on your palate, depending on, there's some stuff that says, you know, it's like, you know, 82 IBUs, and it's like, no, this isn't bitter at all. And then there's
Yeah.
some stuff that's like 26 IBUs, and it's like, you know, and you're not expecting it, and now you're, like I said, you're choking on a mouthful of Brussels sprouts or something.
There's a perceived bitterness in beer. So like Bell's used to not put their IBUs on their website, specifically because there's confusion between what is bitter, what isn't. So like it's been a while since I looked this up, but I think was it like Expedition Stout was technically more bitter than the Two Hearted, but the Two Hearted came off as more bitter because there's a perceived bitterness. So
Right.
and
Yeah.
like, and the IBUs would scare people away.
Sure.
So it was like, well, if we put this IBU on this beer, they're gonna think
Right.
that it's super bitter when really it's not. but it is perceived as not. It's
Is
it's a whole
Expedition is 10%?
At least. Yeah.
12?
Was it Expedition? Is that the barrel?
I've had a
aged
couple
one?
I've had a couple different versions of it, so that's why I can't
Yeah.
remember. I know the barrel version's obviously double digits, and
but yeah, there's definitely like there's a metric to measure it, but there's also perceived bitterness, whether it's actually more bitter or not to your palate. They probably know better than I do on that subject, but
I agree with Mike. It's bullshit.
okay.
So it's good for one thing. It's when you're creating a recipe and you're trying to be consistent,
Sure.
you can measure IBUs through using a mass spec. That means nothing other than that you have the same amount of bittering compounds in the beer. But when it comes to the consumer tasting it, it is purely that. It's like, is there more sugar in it, or is it a drier beer? Because a Pilsner has 30 to 40 IBUs. My super hoppy hazy IPA probably only has like 30 IBUs in it, but it is a hop bomb. But it's not, and it's resinous and all this other stuff. But I could put, make a 3% beer and put 15 IBU in it, and it's going to be way too bitter for you. So
Right.
it's not a great metric for the consumer to use, and why we started putting it on bottles as a thing like alcohol, like I have no idea.
Right.
But some people have tried to create a perceived bitterness scale, and they rate it on a more or less bitter, which is way better way to go.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they put it on there during when like IPAs started getting big, because it was like, who could be like the most
I got 300 IBUs, man.
I don't know that for a fact, but I could see that being the reason.
Right.
But yeah, my that sweet peanut butter style that I was talking about, I've never measured the IBUs because I don't care, but that's got to be super high in IBUs, but it's super sweet, so it's just such a weird metric.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's we never advertise our IBUs anywhere. We only when we have to.
Okay.
We actually did an experiment. We completely coincidentally had 2 beers on that were the same IBUs that we had calculated. We didn't send them off to the lab, so it's a calculated IBU reading that we would have. But one of them was basically a really light, really light grain bill, and the other one was much darker. It was an amber, and they were at 35 IBUs, and one of them tasted incredibly bitter.
Sure.
And one of them tasted well balanced, and, and they both were 35 IBUs, and it didn't.
Right.
And you say, "Oh wow, that's really happy. That's really bitter." It's like, well, this one's the same,
right?
When it comes to IBUs. And like we had all our folks in there, our staff, our bartenders, and everybody. And we did it. We lined them all up, and like, which one has the higher IBUs? And
yeah,
they all were like, "Oh yeah, it's definitely this one, definitely this one." I was like, "Well, they're the same." So we've never advertised that.
Gotcha. That's good. That's more information, and I'm glad you fueled Mike's fire on on the whole IBU issue. Does anybody have anything else before we wrap up? Anything you want to?
You were asking about.
You know what? Yeah. Let's finish that up, and then we'll wrap up.
So we don't have any actual events, but something super cool that we're doing. We're working with basically the DNR. They do these sturgeon releases.
I've heard about that.
And so we brewed a beer for that. It's called the Living Dinosaur. It's a Goza style, but they're having another release. I believe it's this Saturday. And families, kids, they get to go and like grab one of these sturgeon and release it into the water. It's just really neat.
Pretty cool. Yeah,
super cool.
Yeah, we didn't name our beer after that, but he had us like put all the papers working for that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was cool. He didn't tell us that it was actually going to happen this time, so there was miscommunication, so we didn't get to name a beer for it. But
okay,
yeah,
awesome.
That's cool.
Very cool. So November 1st,
Correct.
Yep.
Learn to
So,
brew day.
Learn to Brew Day.
Here at Hopcraft.
This Saturday, possibly the release of some do you know the location off the top of your head?
So they're doing releases at all of the different
Boat launches?
tributaries for the Saginaw River.
Oh,
so
sure.
Cass and Tidwassie and all of that.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Okay, so look that up online.
Yep.
Depending on whatever
I had the
you know,
paper around.
tributary that you're closest to.
Yep.
And then
We're actually having an Oktoberfest party a week from today.
okay,
Bring your lederhosen and
Yeah.
bundle and
the 25th.
yeah,
Yeah.
next Thursday.
Yeah.
We're gonna do brats and sauerkraut.
Nice.
And Steinholding competition.
Oh,
And
my wife's going to one of those. She ordered like the shirts.
Yeah.
Maybe she's
Grindle
going to
or
yours.
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then that's next Thursday.
Okay.
Awesome.
Steinholding, and so I didn't know that was a thing. I just learned that. I'm like, what are all these like? It's a T-shirt that has the Oktoberfest bar maiden. I don't know what they call them, the server or whatever, with the cleavage and Steinholding. I'm like, what if you drop the Steins though? You break them?
Yeah.
Is that a cleanup on aisle 4?
I did it, and like you can tell you're getting tired.
So you set them down.
set 'em
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we
Very
talked.
cool.
We talked to the guitar player in the band we had last year into doing it, and he had a hard time playing guitar for a little while afterwards.
What do you win?
We got some just cash prizes. Like
Okay.
I don't remember what the breakdown
Sure.
was. Like
Sure.
$50 for best dressed and
Yeah.
won the sign.
Oh, nice.
We have the ladies
Very
and
cool.
the guys are separate.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So get yourself to Three Bridges Distillery and Tap Room and Oracle Brewing if you're downtown Saginaw. And if you want to learn how to home brew, get yourself to Hopcraft Supply.
Yep.
Right. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
man. This
Good
was
conversation, and maybe we'll have a chance to do it again sometime.
Oh yeah.
But as I look down in the bottom of my glass, I can see I'm out of beer. And as the late, great Stuart Scott would say, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.